Several music artists share June 4th as their birthday. We believe in a bargain. Normally we give you one, but today we're going to give you three artists for the low price of free $99. We're going to talk about three people today. Two of them almost everyone has heard of, while another one is most famous because of who raised him as well as for who his father is. To begin our story, let us take you back in time for a little bit, back into the 1980s. Being light-skinned was in, y'all. And one guy who symbolized that back then was none other than Debarge. Eldra Patrick Debarge was born on June 4th, 1961 to Robert and Ederline Debarge. He was one of 10 brothers and sisters. El was born in Detroit but moved to Grand Rapids, Michigan when he was 9. He was going back and forth between both locations until he was about 17. Born to a white father and a black mother, El, along with the rest of his siblings, were always taunted by the other kids who called them half-breeds. As a child, El learned to play the piano and also was in the choir. Even though he was inspired by George Clinton, Andre Crouch, Marvin Gaye, the Hawkins family, Ron Isley, and Sly Stone, El found his biggest inspiration within his own family. His brother Bobby, who was 5 years older, was already in the music business. He would later become best known for his time as a member of the group Switch. Bobby would also bring El into the music business. Initially, El patterned his singing style after Bobby, until Bobby told him to stop doing that and to do his own thing. When he was 15, El wrote the song Time Will Reveal. He initially thought the song was too corny to record, and so he wasn't going to do it. However, his brother Chico later convinced him to do so by telling him, if you're not going to release it as a song, record it for me. El ultimately relented, and of course, as a result, we got that great song. El later dropped out of high school to begin performing full-time. Within 2 years, he was signed to Motown as a part of the family group that was initially called the Debarges. El and the family would find success with their second album, All This Love, as the single I Like It went to number 2. Additionally, the album itself went number 3. El and Debarge would release 3 consecutive gold albums. Their top 20 singles included the number 1 hits Time Will Reveal in 1983 and Rhythm of the Night in 1985. Additionally, they released All This Love in 1983, Love Me in a Special Way in 1984, Who's Holding Donna Now, and You Wear It Well, both in 1985. After going solo in 1986, El released his solo debut, which went number 8. As well as going gold, the album spawned the number 1 hit, Who's Johnny, along with Love Always, which hit number 7. Other top 20 hits for El included Real Love in 1989, You Know What I Like in 1992, Where Is My Love, and Can't Get Enough in 1994, as well as the duet with Faith Evans, Lay With You, in 2010. El was also featured on the number 1 smash Secret Garden in 1990. All Through the Night with Tone Loc, which went number 16, the number 2 song After the Dance with Foreplay, and On the Cut Hand in Hand with DJ Quick. In 2025, El continues to perform, and he's scheduled to tour this year along with Charlie Wilson, Babyface, and KC on the Charlie Wilson Cookout Tour. Happy birthday, El. We're going to take time out from our story to ask you to like, subscribe, share, comment, hit that notification bell, and repeat when it comes to our videos. Now, back to our story. Going back to the 1980s, by the time that the late 1980s came around, El was passing the baton to the next light-skinned brother, Al B. Sure. Albert Joseph Brown III was born June 4, 1968 in Boston, Massachusetts to Albert II and Cassandra Brown. Though he was born in Boston, Massachusetts, Al was raised in Mount Vernon, New York. Al was always into music, and when he was in high school, he would sit in the lunchroom and write songs. His best friend when he was in high school, DJ Eddie F., would later co-found as well as serve as the DJ for the group Heavy D and the Boys. As a result, in 1987, Al sang backup for Heavy D and the Boys on their debut album Living Large. His voice is the singing voice you hear on the song Don't You Know, among other songs on the album. Also in 1987, Al was selected by Quincy Jones as the inaugural winner of the Sony Innovators Talent Search. After that, Al was able to secure a recording contract with Uptown Records. His debut album, In Effect Mode, was released in 1988 and was a smash. Additionally, the singles Night and Day and Off on Your Own Girl both went #1 as well. Finally, Rescue Me, If I'm Not Your Lover, and Killing Me Softly all made it into the top 15. The album originally had 9 songs on it. Very rarely do you see more than half of the songs on any album go top 15. So that lets you know how great this particular album was. When Al first came out, he got opposing reactions depending on who you were talking to. Women thought he was so fine and he could sing too. They wouldn't stop talking about this guy. Dudes, meanwhile, wished that their girls would stop talking about Al. He wasn't that great, they'd say. If he wasn't light-skinned, women wouldn't even be paying him no attention, they'd say. They try and clown Al about his high singing voice or his unibrow. Once you combine those things with his light skin, dudes really enjoy hating on Al. After all that hating though, they still had to listen to his music because that's what the ladies wanted to hear. And they was crazy, but they weren't stupid. Meanwhile, Al ignored all the hate. His next album, Private Times and the Whole Nine, was released in 1990. It featured the #1 song Misunderstanding, as well as No Matter What You Do, a duet with Diana Ross, which went #4. Also in 1990, he was featured on the smash song Secret Garden, which also went #1. Take note that 2 of our Light Skinned Trifecta, Debarge and Al B, appeared on this song. Al's next album, 1992's Sexy Verses, yielded the #1 hit Right Now. In 1994, his single on the Above the Rim soundtrack, I'm Still in Love with You, went #9. It would then be 17 years before Al released another album called Honey I'm Home, which came out in 2009. The album charted at #16. In more recent years, Al has become a radio personality, hosting the Love and R&B with Al B. Sure show. The program specializes in quiet storm music. Before we move on, we want to touch on Al's personal life because that's going to help us segue into the next part of our story. In 1988, Al was introduced to Kim Porter by Andre Harrell. Both Al and Kim would later say it was love at first sight, as they began dating shortly after being introduced. Meanwhile, Al continued to record, write, and produce music. While he was working with the group Jodeci on their debut album, he co-wrote the song Forever My Lady with Devontae Swing. The song was written about and dedicated to Kim, as well as their infant son. This leads us to the third member of our Light Skinned Trifecta, Quincy Brown. Al and Kim named their son Quincy Taylor Brown. He was named after Quincy Jones, who was also Quincy's godfather. Baby Quincy was born on June 4th, 1991. He was a birthday gift of sorts for Al, as he was born on Al's birthday. Not only does he share the same birthday with his dad, he's also the spitting image of that dude. Not long after Quincy's birth, his parents' relationship began to fall apart. As a result, as well as for other unknown reasons, Quincy was not raised by Al. Instead, Sean Diddy Combs, who Quincy's mother began dating when he was 3, served as his informal stepfather. Since graduating high school, Quincy has been active in several different fields. He made his debut as an actor in the 2012 film We the Party. Other appearances in movies include Brotherly Love, Dope, and Street, all in 2015. He also co-starred in the Christmas movie The Holiday Calendar. On television, after turning down a role on the hit show Empire, he co-starred on the show Star for 3 seasons. He also has had recurring roles on Power, Book 3, Raising Kanan, and The Have and Have Nots. He currently is a series regular on the show The Family Business New Orleans. As a model, Quincy has appeared in various displays for Diddy's Sean John brand, for Coach New York watches, for a Coach and Bape collab, Ivy Park, and MCM Worldwide. Quincy also inherited his father's musical talent. Quincy has chosen to release his music independently. Since 2012, he's released a string of singles, including Stay a While, The First Thing, Friends First featuring French Montana, Exotic featuring G-Eazy, Blue Dot, Late Night Flex, Snuggle Up, and Ayo. In 2017, he released the online EP, This Is For You. The highlight of the EP was the song I Can Tell You, which is a cover of Al's 1988 hit song, Night and Day. Additionally, Quincy performed the song as a duet with his father. Currently, in 2025, Quincy continues to release music online, including the songs Rendezvous and Elevated Come Down. He also continues to work on his relationship with his father. While they were at one point estranged, they both acknowledged that they have come a long way since then. We had a little fun with it, calling these guys the Light Skinned Trifecta, but much respect to all three of these men on their special day. Since it's their birthday, we'll let all three of these dudes slide on any controversial issues, including the court case Quincy's pseudo-stepdaddy Diddy is currently going through. Maybe we'll talk about those things some other time. What's your favorite song by Al B, or Quincy? Let us know in the comments. Thank you all for checking out our video. We appreciate you spending time with us. We have other videos that need love too, so take some time to check those out as well. Thanks again and see you soon.